Reincarnation of a Businesswoman, Chapter 5. Save People, a check for 500,000 yen or yuan. Guning didn't get involved at once. She decided to observe for a while, waiting for a perfect timing. The suspect held the gun, aiming at the female doctor. They were so close. If Guning couldn't catch the suspect quickly, he might feel threatened and shoot, which would cause bad results. Guning glanced over the open balcony. There was a pile of miscellaneous goods at the right side of the exit. Guning used it to cover herself and moved closer to them. Yang Hao, what, what do you want? Facing the gun, the female doctor was trembling. What do I want? The suspect, Yang Hao, snorted. Then he said angrily with his eyes full of fierceness, Ankian, Ankian, it's all because of you that I ended up like this. What do I want? The hospital has fired me. My wife left me for another man. It's you. It's all because of you. Speaking of this, Ankian felt aggrieved. She argued, that's all because of your immoral behaviors. As a doctor, you disobeyed the basic rules. You secretly accepted the money from the patient's family and ignored a life. I simply rescued a person. Shut up. That's my own business. You don't have any right to interfere. Yang Hao snapped. His hands around the gun tightened. Now, have someone transfer 5 million yuan to my account or I will shoot. Ankian was trembling with fear. She swallowed down with great force. I don't have that much at all, but I have 2 million yuan. No, I want a total 5 million yuan. That bitch left me exactly for that amount of money. I'll grab her back with the same amount of money. Yang Hao seemed crazily excited and was likely to shoot. Meanwhile, with the cover of the miscellaneous goods, Gu Ning had moved to Yang Hao's back, 2 meters away from him. Seeing Yang Hao being emotionally excited, Gu Ning was startled. She was worried that he would shoot by accident. Yang Hao was unusually excited now, intending to do evil things. What Yang Hao had done today was illegal. Even if he could get 5 million yuan today, he still would be punished by the law. He wouldn't have chance to win his wife back. Besides, his wife wouldn't come back to him either. And the other man who had given Yang Hao's wife 5 million yuan must be a man of great wealth. If Yang Hao's wife had left him for money, she certainly wouldn't leave a wealthy man for him. Even if Yang Hao's wife didn't care about the money, Yang Hao was a suspect now. He would be caught and put in jail sooner or later. If Yang Hao's wife chose to stay by his side, she would lose both Yang Hao and the money. Gu Ning was now worried. Ankian would say something. Gu Ning was now worried Ankian would say something that would irritate Yang Hao. The man could lose his control and shoot. Then Gu Ning wouldn't have chance to save her. Fortunately, Ankian was smart enough to notice Yang Hao was emotionally excited. She softened her voice and comforted. No problem. I'll transfer 5 million yuan to you, but I only have 2 million yuan on my account, and I need to call my family for the rest. As long as she could survive, she would pay 5 million yuan for it. She believed the police could catch Yang Hao later. Gu Ning thought otherwise. Yang Hao wasn't dumb to let go of Ankian. If he did so, Ankian must call the police afterwards. Accordingly, even if Yang Hao could get the money, he couldn't get away with it. Hearing Ankian agreed at the end, Yang Hao was relieved. Great, but you have to use the speaker. Sure, sure, Ankian pulled out her phone, trembling still. Yang Hao seemed a little tired after holding the gun for a long time. He loosed his hand. Right at that moment, Gu Ning seized her chance. She rushed out rapidly at Yang Hao. The latter was knocked down on the floor directly. Due to his lack of preparation, the gun in a loosened hand was thrown out as well and fell down several meters away. It all happened too fast. Ankian was struck down without knowing her phone was dropped on the ground. But it was not the end yet. Without the gun, Yang Hao was merely an opponent for Guning. Before he could fight back, Guning hit Yang Hao into unconsciousness. In case he might wake up later, Guning found a rope and tied him, plugging his mouth with a rag. Call the police. Guning looked at Ankian, who had no idea what to do. Oh, right, right. Ankian finally got her mind back and found her phone was missing. She stood still for a while before finding out her phone was lying on the ground. She immediately picked it up, but before she could dial out, her phone rang. Ankian was startled. She saw the caller's name and answered it at once. Hi, Dad. Kian, where are you? I'm at the open back. I'm at the open balcony of inpatients department. Ankian told her father what had happened. Then She asked, Dad, shall I call the police or? Gunin frowned. She didn't understand why Ankian said that. What else did she want to do except calling the police? What? What? How is this? Okay, what? How is this possible? Are you alright? Ankian's father was extremely worried. His heart was in his throat now. Dad, I'm fine now. Gun, Ankian replied. Wait for me, I'll be right there. And do not call the police now. Ankian's father said. Ankian agreed, then hung up the phone. Guning had heard Guni had good hearing. She had heard clearly what Ankian's father had said. When Ankian finished her call, Gunin asked with puzzle, Why don't you call the police? Because if I called the police, the whole hospital would know it. The people would be alarmed, which is the last thing I want to see. Gunin thought it was reasonable, so she closed her mouth. Ankian added, but Yang Hao will definitely be sent to the police station in private. I've already recorded the dialogue between us. His fingerprints were also on the gun, which is the proof too. Recorded, Runing now was respectful of Ankian. Being in such a dangerous situation, she was still able to record. By the way, thank you for thank you so much for saving my life. Ankian thanked Guning sincerely. She drew out a check and a pen from her clothing, writing on it for a second. Then she gave it to Guning. I don't know how to thank you, actually. This is a check for 500,000 yuan. Please take it. Guning stared at the check. She frowned. Although she badly needed money now, she wasn't willing to accept the check. She had her own principles since she had given out a helping hand on her own initiative. She didn't ask for payment. Guning refused with determination. I didn't save you. I didn't save your life for money. Please take this check back. Ankian was surprised, but she didn't doubt whether Guning rejected the check because it wasn't enough. She felt the kindness from the young lady instead. Okay, that's the end of chapter 5. This chapter went by so fast, unlike the previous chapter. Well, uh, it turns out that Tang Ainin, who is now Guning, is as strong as she previously was in her former life. What I still doubt how. Anyway, it's a novel. Though I still have my doubts. That's the end of chapter 5. We'll see in chapter 6, the next chapter.